it. We're here. We're starting.
God. There's just a long lag on the Facebook feed, but it's okay.
There's always like
we're here now.
We came in today like ready to go, finding out that as of literally 2 weeks ago, Facebook changed its policy on how quick a page could go live. Which was fun information to walk into this morning. So we're live on my feed today. We'll probably go live on Selena's feed tomorrow and keep doing that till the Zuck frees this duck. Free this duck, Zuck!
Oh God. Aren't you glad that all worked out? That we chose our mascot? It's just
pretty great. Today is March 4th, 2024. It's a Monday. And this is the first ever Dork Duck Daily. It's also Selena's birthday.
It is my birthday. Can you guys guess how old I am?
That's a fun game. That'll just lead to jokes of calling you 14. It is nice to officially kick this thing off. We're gonna be doing this every Monday through Friday. Going forward until they come in and rip us out. I guess I'm not really sure.
Rip us out, like physically.
They come in and attack us.
Tear us out of the studio.
Yeah, we're gonna bring you guys geeky news every day and other type shenanigans, and we'll see how it goes. People are wishing you. Travis says happy birthday over on the Twitch feed, and Ross says, "Oh, great! It's all in Japanese on the theme song."
For some reason, I thought he meant we were speaking in Japanese.
Yes, that's what's happening.
What is going on? Like, we don't have the power to do that.
No. Every day we'll be live here on Facebook once they let us do that. And Twitch.
Please let us do that soon.
All of this will be archived, though, on podcast feeds and on YouTube. If I can get my house in order, the YouTube one will actually have like chapters and timestamps and all that fun stuff as well. But it might take a week or two to get all this stuff going, all the stuff figured out.
Thank you, Drew and Christian.
Yeah, happy birthday indeed.
So
okay,
wonderful.
so that's housekeeping. Also, we'll be live with video game streams every day, Monday through Friday going forward.
Yeah. We might,
as well as some Patreon only video game stuff. And today I will be. It'll be just me, because she's off to do birthday shenanigans, and I'm going to start my show in which I'm going to play through all the kids are playing Final Fantasy, but not the one I'm going to play. I'm going to play Final Fantasy 1 because I'm going to commit to at least playing through 1 through 10.
good for you. That's quite the commitment.
I'm not kidding. Everyone's playing 7, but not me.
Is there a reason our screen is still doing that?
That's just the restream thing. It's behind. It's fine.
It's that behind?
No, it's just, it's...
Oh, okay.
It always does that on
Okay,
restream.
it's fine. It's okay. I was just checking.
Okay. Yeah, it's...
I was
If
like,
if the restream was that far behind, the one on your phone would be there, too.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing streaming to everything else.
Okay.
Okay. Without further ado, though, every day, we're going to bring you all the news you need to care about in a segment we like to call... We'd like to say the name of the segment.
No, you can. It's fine.
It's
your baby.
It's our baby. I'm raising this duck by myself.
Ducks only need one parent to survive.
It's a segment called The Daily
How the music is.
Yeah. And I forgot to do this thing. At some point, this is all going to become second nature. But
it's fine. There is no first ever stream that goes over without some level of like...
I can't wait to see how bad that one camera angle is, because I kept saying, don't touch that camera, and you, every 2 seconds, just kept touching it.
I just do that.
Okay. First news story we're going to cover is the PENSACON AI debacle. This wasn't on my list originally when I was prepping news for today, because it was mostly...
Oh, wait, that's my angle. Never mind. I was like, the angle's fine. What are you talking about?
We're not even to that camera yet.
No.
The PENSACON AI debacle was mostly news last week, in like the weeks beforehand, because it was, if you're unaware, PENSACON, which is a convention in Pensacola, Florida, is which. Yeah, we're not even in that shot. I love how you're just like, it's fine. No. Perfect. Oh my gosh.
That's literally where it was before.
No, because we did not have the screen in the shot at all. But that's fine. I love how it just. I was like, don't touch that, and then you did, and then you were like, I don't know. I moved it back. It's fine.
Move it back. Where did I move it to? I don't know.
Yeah, so PENSACON, if you're unaware, has taken a lot of flack because their badges and then their shirts for the con event used some AI art. And then it was this whole thing where it's like AI art, obviously, pretty controversial thing. But what seemed to make this more controversial is the artists themselves seem to have access to the official PENSACON social media feed. So as people were kind of complaining about it, and then artists that used to go to the con or went to the con were starting to make their complaints about AI art being, sold and used. Then that artist who utilized the AI art was on there as PENSACON, attacking people and threatening lawsuits and all that stuff in the social media. And it was a big to-do over the last couple of weeks. But as of like 10 hours ago, PENSACON released an official statement on their social media that said, we apologize to anyone threatened with a lawsuit, which is the best way to open up anything ever, whose art was stolen. And if it was AI, which only the artist knows and is not currently available, they can't reach the artist currently, we will never be able to apologize enough to everyone for all the different reasons, and there will always be people who will only see one negative on PENSACON's side as well as every other side. For what it's worth, we did not pay her for the art, and it was offered as a gift to one of the executive team members who shared it with the rest of the team, and we ran with it, all falling in love with the art in good faith. Again, I am genuinely sorry for anyone offended by how we handled the situation, and know we are working on things internally. My name's it, and the thing just like continues on and on and on and on. You also I
feel like they could have like shoved that all into a more succinct
our bad the 2 words you got to cover.
No, maybe a little more than 2 words. There is you showed this to me earlier, and my brain prior ADHD meds was just like, that's a lot of words. Like I don't want to read that.
Well, and I think it's one of those things too where that's part of the thing of like, hey, we didn't know, but like the problem is all these corporations and everything else, like, one, you're trying to do things as cheaply and easily as possible. And, when someone's like, hey, here's free art that looks awesome, and you're not kind of looking into like, okay, where'd this come from? How'd we get a hold of this? And I don't think people would be half as mad, one, if they would have said from the start, like, oh yeah, no, we used AI to generate. People wouldn't love it. There'd definitely be people that would be frustrated, especially when you're a con that is supposedly like celebrating like actual comic book artists and stuff showing up and doing their thing.
Wasn't there a whole thing where they said they were against AI art? That was a comment that I seen in the discourse of everything.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that the social media messaging is very muddled. But also they had panels that were like, hey, how to use AI for writing and how to use AI. And this stuff continues to be and will continue to be contentious and like hard for everyone to figure out. But this reminds me of when I ran a little outfit in my early 20s. It was a horror magazine called The Daily Tourniquet, which no one remembers.
I remember.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I know. I was like,
You're very young.
not even on the internet yet, probably.
But the Daily Tourniquet, which was a horror literary magazine, which I loved running. And at the start of it, I didn't have much else going on. And then I became like going to school full time and doing all that other stuff, and tried to keep up being an editor of a daily literature magazine. And it became one of those things that was difficult because like you don't have as much time to double check everything and triple check everything coming through. And I got caught up in, there's one guy who was just straight up plagiarizing stories and submitting them to magazines.
Oh.
And I didn't do my due diligence and published one of them. And it was like, and then it was a WordPress site. And as soon as I like deleted I went through quickly and just like deleted the posts that contained his, the stuff that he plagiarized, because that was the easiest way I thought to deal with it at the time. And my WordPress theme, because it was built on a pile of napkins, completely crashed and shut down, and it brought down my entire site. And It was this huge kerfuffle that all started from just me running it while trying to do 800 other things. And my guess is this kind of started there too. I'm guessing the people at the con like aren't like, we're going to use AI because it's going to make everything wildly easier for ha 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it was a mistake of lack of due diligence, and it's the increasing of like, okay, we're gonna keep, instead of like going like, oh yeah, our bad, we're gonna keep like doubling down and tripling down and like kind of making it worse.
Yeah.
Christian says, I think it's a slap to artists' face to use AI art while hosting them at a con. I would agree. Our friend Anna Zuo would also agree. She's a fantastic artist who we like a lot. We see at a lot of conventions, done work with. She's great and has been kind of on the front lines of kind of internet litigating this stuff. And I applaud her because I don't have the time or energy to like scoop this kind of stuff the way she does. And artists need to be doing that. But because she's on those front lines, as all this was brewing, she was actually getting attacked. And it cracks me up because she then on her social media, because people started accusing, because like everything has to have a side where like we can't actually look at the evidence and like look at the nuance. We have to be like completely on one side or completely on the other and get ready to have internet fights. So people were going after Anna and then starting accusing her of plagiarism for her like full ass published comic book covers and stuff. And then she had this amazing post where she was like, actually, here you can watch entire streams of me like drawing the covers from beginning to end. So like, what the fuck are you talking about? Which I just think is kind of crazy. But yeah, it's kind of a wild thing. Travis says he remembers Daily Tourniquet and says also that Mind Flayer shirt, though. I appreciate noticing the shirt. It's a good one. Speaking of Mind Flayers, Selena is going to be live on Twitch tomorrow, starting your Baldur's Gate.
I sure am.
Playthrough.
I didn't forget. I just forgot.
You forgot
tomorrow
that
was Tuesday.
All right. Next headline: Dune Part 2 rides the worm to an easy win at
Did you come
the weekend
up with
box
that?
office. I didn't. Sam Bernasti from AV Club came up with that
I
headline.
thought you did, and I was like, "That's clever."
No, if I came up with it, it would say that their twink rides the worm to like. It would have been even more dirty.
It's fine.
According to Sam, Dennis Villeneuve. I never know how to say that director's name.
Villeneuve.
The Sicario guy, and Blade Runner. His sequel opened this weekend to 81.5 million. That's just domestic. It was like 190, I think, worldwide, something like that.
We went and it was almost completely sold out in our theater.
It was crazy.
Well,
And we
Celine.
were running late.
Yeah.
And that was, we were really late. I thought we were gonna like miss it, and then we were trying to like see if we could get tickets for a later show, and the later shows were like mostly sold out too.
I never want to be late to a movie again with you. That was the most stressful time of my life, I think. Like, I've been through some pretty stressful shit, and just you
I don't like missing
down
a movie.
the road, like calling the Celine Theater over and over.
I just want to know how long the previews were. If they were like, oh, there's no. Sometimes with IMAX screenings, there's no previews.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know.
No, I know, but you just kept calling and calling, and then the poor man answered. And I sometimes when you answer the phone, you're like, they're like, hey, this is blah blah blah, Celine Theater. How can I help you? You're like, hi. I thought you were gonna do your usual, like, this is Jeff. Like, you're so like professional when you answer phone calls. And,
yeah.
But you're just like, hey, I was just wondering how long like the previews are, and the guy was like, what did he say, like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I think. And at that time we were like
exactly 15 minutes late, but we had like 2 or 3 more minutes to drive to get there.
Yeah.
It was all because the cat got out too.
Yeah, or Pete got out, and it kind of just threw a wrench and everything. Well, also you were like, be ready at 6 o'clock, and I thought that was weird because usually it takes longer to drive into Celine than a half an hour. But
yeah,
I could have been wrong.
But, I was thinking the time from the shop, not the time from the house. And that's what I messed up.
It's okay. We'll never make that mistake again.
No, because that's the one time I turn into like whatever that was. It's like the 2 times you've seen me act like a child are like when we were about to be late to Dune, and when you asked me to go get you a drink in the middle of Godzilla.
Yeah, listen, I wasn't even gonna get up during Godzilla, so I get it. It was like us, like, fighting tantrum style, and I won.
Dylan says, "Damn it, Pete." Yeah, it was obnoxious. Because like I got there too, I was like, "Let's go," and Selena wasn't ready to go when I got to the house. Which is like I usually account for that time wise because that's fairly typical. We have things like we're solid at, that's not like a drag on her. It's just who she is, a human being.
But neither are you, so it's been a pretty.
Yeah, it's usually a good fit. Again, movies is the one time, and then it's the cat immediately. Like, and I was like, we could just leave. He'll come back, and you're like, no, we need to find this cat right now.
You did not say he'll come back. You just stood there looking at the bush that he was in. You're like, what bush was he in? I was like, he went in that one, but I don't really know like how to get him out, and we had to go get a can of cat food, and it was a whole ordeal. And I was so mad, and it was like not fair to the kids, but I was so mad because if the kids hadn't been running in and out of the house for absolutely no reason other than someone missed a turn on Mario Party or something
like that, and then that's how the cat got
gotten out. And I was just like, oh my god.
All that to say though, Dune 2, incredible.
Very good.
Wonderful film. Go see it.
2.5 hours long, I think. More than that, actually.
And you sat through the.
I was in it. I had to pee so bad like the whole time, and I was just like, no, we're holding it. I'm not getting up.
And that's not typical for you. And I couldn't get you really to sit down and watch the first one very much. So
I was very tired that day.
And so yeah, it's kind of even more of a weirdly like broad appeal movie for a thing about space worms and stuff, which is wild to me how well it's doing and how much the normies are glomming onto it.
Also, Timothée Chalamet looks about 7 years older than he does in the first Dune. So I think that could have been part of why my attention was held a little bit longer.
He's a little less baby face.
He's older than me, but he looks younger than me, and I don't.
Well, so I guess in between this one and the next one, which the next one isn't officially announced yet, but as this news story says, it's being wildly successful, so it'll come. But the director wants to make another movie in between. One of the main reasons being that like we got to age Timmy up a little bit for Messiah.
Just throw a beard on him. It'll work.
Yeah, it'll be fine. No, sadly, we did not get the, as being asked in the chat, we did not get the controversial sex toy appearing popcorn bucket. Unfortunately,
I thought about it when I was getting popcorn, but I was like, I don't know that I want to spend.
Travis is asking what that is. They made a popcorn bucket that was like a sandworm, including an orifice that you reach your hand in with all the like little sandworm, like little what do you call those things?
Huh?
The like
Teeth?
the spirit fingers that wrap that come out of the mouth of the sandworm.
I'd say it's their teeth.
Their teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like more like, I don't know, they're teeth. They're kind of teeth.
They're definitely teeth. If they're not teeth, then there's another word, scientific word for it.
Anyways, they're definitely not like teeth on the popcorn bucket. They're like, they're loosey goosey.
Fleshlight.
It does.
Can I say that? I don't know that we can say that.
Sure, it's fine.
No.
Silly.
We need to bleep it out.
Oh, what's great is that they're like, I'm looking at the Facebook stream and they're like doing captions in real time, which is not even a thing I knew they did. And I just saw it say fleshlight down there. So
oh no. Sorry if this gets our stream shut down.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really consider it as an option, but
but that's the biggest debut of the year. If you're curious, top 10 right now at the box office is Dune Part 2 at the very top, followed by Bob Marley, One Love, followed by Ordinary Angels, which is a Christian movie I've never seen or heard of, followed by Madam Web, followed by The Chosen Season 4, Episode 7 or 8, which are episodes of a Christian thing that are being released in theaters, I guess, followed by Migration.
The God people are taking over.
Demon Slayer, and then Wonka. Wait till the half worm God people take over.
From Dune?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said something about that. I'm gonna make that a goal this year, is that I'm gonna read.
You read about Leto too?
But what?
Leto the Second.
Oh. For some reason, I thought you were talking about Jared Leto, and I was like, how does he fit into this equation?
No, not so much. Next news story.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, we've only done 2 news stories. This is going to be a rough new life for you.
I'm stretching.
IATSE and Teamsters warn of another Hollywood strike on massive rally. Put your helmets on. This is from Katie Stephan at Variety. Negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers are set to begin on Monday. The International Alliance of Theater and Stage Employees, otherwise known as, International Alliance of Team Stage Employees, Teamsters, and the Hollywood Basic Crafts, which is what makes up IATSE. Basically, so you have your Directors Guild, which is the directors, Screen Actors Guild, which is the actors, and the Writers Guild, right, which is the writers. Those are the unions that make up those things. IATSE is kind of a catch-all, basically, for everything else that's not like the people that own the companies, but like they're the people that work on the crews and the people that work in the craft services and the people that do basically everything else that has to happen for like movies and shows and stuff.
Okay.
They have their own union. It's called IATSE, and it looks like they're probably going to end up also going on strike this summer unless their demands are met, and it's not looking good right now.
Not looking good.
So it sounds like the Teamsters and the Basic Crafts after IATSE will bargain their separate agreements with hope of having deals ratified by the deadline. But one of the main things kind of coming up again, going back to our first story, is AI stuff. And when I read that, I was like, that's really weird. What does AI have to do with like holding a camera or holding up a microphone? And then I read this, that costumer Caitlin Doolittle, which is an amazing name, said that AI also threatens to change the way her job is done. The second that you start automatically generating bodies, They have clothes on them, she said. I'm so stupid. I never even thought of that.
No.
What am I supposed to do? One of my favorite parts of this job is interacting with background actors and creating individual characters to create texture in scenes. Having a computer generate that is not it. So that's, once again, one of the things that's like on the table for consideration is how much AI is going to affect these kind of jobs going forward, which is crazy because I, again, never even thought about that. But obviously, yeah, if you're just taking these like people and just like pasting weird AI people in the background of scenes and stuff, you know, no one is getting paid to put those people in shirts and clothes. No one's getting paid to feed those people, to like be like, okay guys, let's go over here, to source those people.
About like putting AI generated people like after it's already filmed, or
So this was a huge thing with the last strike, with all the Screen Actors Guild and stuff, is they're talking about basically for, you know what an extra is?
Yeah.
Okay, so like there's this whole ecosystem of extras in movies. They're like not like named actors that are, but like you go to a party scene that a bunch of people have to stand in the back and be people at a party.
Of course.
Yeah, AI can generate those people at the party.
Yeah, no.
There was a huge thing where people were coming in and thinking they were doing extra work for one movie and not realizing they were signing a contract that said that like, hey, you can repurpose me over and over again forever.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it is definitely not good. And it's, you know, once again affecting yet another piece of the industry, because I never would have thought about.
Could you imagine like watching a movie and like, because I notice background shit in movies all the time.
Yeah.
And like being a scene of a party in a movie and like you're just like vibing and then you're looking in the background and suddenly there's like a person in the back, but they only have 4 fingers or something. I would lose my shit.
Just freaking out.
Yeah, especially if like it was not like a movie where shit like that was normal. Like it was just like your average like college comedy or something, but the person in the background only has 4 fingers and there's no lines on their teeth. You know how like in AI pictures sometimes they don't have teeth.
Yeah.
It's getting scary.
It's getting weird out there.
'Cause like also though they're like starting to fix that, so maybe by the time this is all like, if it does become a thing, like they will have fixed that already, because like I don't know if you guys have seen those like McDonald's in the 80s AI generated pictures. There's like a whole set of pictures on Facebook that's like McDonald's parties in the 80s, and it's like a bunch of people at a McDonald's, but it's AI generated. But I couldn't tell. Like they looked real. That shit scares me. Like
yeah. Or I saw one that was like this 80-year-old grandma can do blah blah blah, and
oh my god, the crochet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain was like, that's not real, right? And then I looked at it's not real. It can't be real.
Yeah, but
I believed it was. I had to doubt it, and like this like AI. Oh god.
Oh, it's Jesse. Cool. Jesse wants to know if we watch Madam Web. We have not yet. It probably will happen at some point, just because I'm excited to have a fun time watching the insanity that is that movie. But maybe we'll do something to record something for Patreon or something. We've not watched it yet. Tyler says, imagine not realizing your likeness was used in a movie and your friend's family came up and congratulated you on it while you're doing something completely different. Yeah, I think about that. Or worse, you know, what if it's in like something that you would not endorse or feel good about you being in at all, and you're like, oh yep, no, I'm in the you do like one acting, so you're like, oh yeah, I'm at this party in this like Batman movie, and then suddenly you're like they saw me in a strip club and what movie? It could get kind of weird and wild. But like this stuff is I don't obviously, like we tend to be people that fall a little on the left side of things, and that tends to put us in agreement with like a lot of union stuff. I think even if you're not on our side of the aisle, the one place where union stuff always makes sense is like weird gig jobs like this, because you need some sort of structure to be able to have things like healthcare and a retirement fund and that kind of stuff. There's a story we almost threw in today of like there's a like a porn star that OD'd, and so there's like a GoFundMe going now for her.
What?
And yeah, it's this thing is like anyone in any kind of whether it's full movie stuff or like porn stuff, or like we go through it a lot with our comic book end of things there, and like wrestlers especially, there's no like structure. Like if so for all this film, movie, TV stuff, these organizations are really important. IATSE, WGA, DGA, and I think I named all of them. Who knows? It's early. But those stuff are all really important because that's how those people. And it's never about your Brad Pitts, right? It's the guy who isn't Brad Pitt, who you've never heard of, that makes his living doing this stuff, that deserves to be able to, like be able to go to the doctor, which is the thing he should get to do, and that sort of thing. And so. These exist to protect those guys, but like if you look in areas of where there isn't that structure, like wrestling or pornography or comic books, even the famous names that make the stuff often end up in situations where they're completely screwed because there's no infrastructure to take care of them. So as much as like we are excited about whatever movie, this is going to be a show where we're watching lots of trailers and talking about like, man, Dune was cool, and did you get the sex toy bucket, and and like all that fun stuff. I would rather it take 18 years for all this stuff to come out and make sure that the people that make this stuff is taken care of personally. That's where I fall. Final news story for the day. Again, one of those like wasn't going to cover it because it was last week, but here we go. Because they came out and said more stuff. Wendy's, our favorite redheaded fast food chain, says it won't use surge pricing.
I thought they were going to. Now they're not going to?
Oh, so they are. They don't want it called that, is what it comes down to.
Go figure.
But they're making the headline say Wendy's won't use surge. You just touched the camera.
I was stretching.
I love that you did it while we were on that camera too. That's amazing.
I'm tired. Leave me alone. It's early.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday, and I'll punch cameras if I want to.
This is from John Tofiahi. Sorry if I'm mangling your name there, buddy, from CNN. TOWFIGHI.
Okay, I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. In an email to CNN, Wendy's said, we will not implement surge pricing, which is the practice of raising prices when demand is highest. This was not a change in plans. It was never our plan to raise prices when customers are visiting us the most. If you weren't following the story last week, it kind of went out and it was a big news story everywhere that Wendy's was going to start using what they would like you to call dynamic pricing. So that basically if you're going to Wendy's at different times, it's going to cost different amounts of money.
The only time I go to Wendy's is at 8 o'clock at night, and I randomly crave nasty cheese fries that are like really bad.
The Baconator fries?
The cheese is probably like 30%.
Oh, it just sits in your gut?
Yep, 30% plastic.
And you wake up at like 2 a.m. and you're just like,
that's probably why I was like,
I've made decisions.
Yeah. is like those fries. The fries are sometimes good, but then the cheese ends up making the fries soggy. And you know that bacon's been sitting there for like 3 hours, and they just pop it in the microwave and crumble it up.
That's how it's delicious, though.
No.
Well, now your Baconator fries are going to cost different amounts at different times, starting in 2025.
Okay.
Oh,
thanks, Emmanuel.
Whoever called it surge pricing made the worst marketing mistake you can think of, said Juan Castillo, assistant professor of economics at the University of Pennsylvania. Surge pricing sent the message to everyone that is the most about increasing prices. That created a very negative reaction from the public. Dynamic pricing uses real-time data to figure out when the company can set their prices. That lets companies earn the maximum that they can at any given moment, Castillo said, but it depends on two critical factors: innovative technology and managing backlash from customers, as Wendy's learned this week, when memes about unaffordable burgers started flying after their initial announcement.
I mean, their burgers were pretty cheap to begin with. I don't know why.
I mean, the 4 for $4 was like the craziest best invention in fast food in the last like 5-10 years, and then they've that's kind of more or less gone now. It's still on the menu, but there's nothing worth snagging in the 4 for $4. Now everything slipped to the $5 biggie bag, which is still fairly affordable proposition.
Yeah, it feeds all of us.
As a fat kid, I was just so happy that nuggets were finally being treated as a side. I've wanted that since I was a little fat kid. But like I don't know. The reality of this is that where they messed up probably is the messaging, because where this is going to hit the hardest is on things like DoorDash and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And none of you are ever going to notice that the prices are changing from, because you're just going to be like, I'm the Wendy's. Give me because those prices are higher anyway. That's what we broke this whole thing with, is like once we started DoorDashing and they're paying how much for our shit. That's what fucked that's why thinking McDonald's, you go through the McDonald's drive-through and it's like $50 for
me, you, and our kids.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But that's because like people were paying that on DoorDash, but it was because DoorDash, I didn't have to put pants on. Okay,
Yeah, that's a solid sell.
I'm willing to pay stupid money to not have to put pants on.
Jeff DoorDashed me a stuffed animal once.
I did.
I didn't even know you could do that. And then he was like, "Hey, look at
You were
this."
having a bad day.
I was having a bad day, but I didn't know that was a possibility. But now his go-to is like, I wonder if I should DoorDash her a stuffed animal. Like every time I'm having a bad morning, I'm like, you can't just push a button and make a stuffed animal appear.
I did.
Fix my mood. You did that morning.
I beg to differ. I pulled it off.
Okay.